Show you what we're working on today. A very short hickory log today. Nice hickory crotch when measuring in at 4'8". Good coffee table size. Small end, not counting the crotch. 18 with the crotch. The way I got to cut about 23 wide here. It's got a nice crotch there on that side. Should yield some nice lumber. The outer layers of hickory is usually just white with occasional, maybe a little bit of black streaking. As you get closer to the center, you get a lot more figure, or a lot more coloration in it. Not super interesting, but hey, you've got to show everything at this point. There's a little bit of white fungus growing here. I don't think this one's been down long enough to cause any spalting, and it may be since February, March it's been down, and it's just been sitting out front. So, which, let me show you what else we're going to be working on. Hang on one sec. Here's part of what we have to mill yet, minus the cat. More white oak, hickory. What else? I'm sorry. That's red oak there. Another hickory there. This is maple. This is the top of that big maple slabber we did the other day. That's about 10 feet long. That's a pretty long one. And another cat. Here's another red oak crotch there. Down here is English walnut, double crotch. That's going to look nice when it goes through the mill. We're going to have to trim that and that off a little bit to make it narrow enough to fit. Same with this here. It's another English walnut. This was standing live. The one in front was standing dead. So the last English walnut I did not turn out real well. It's a lot of rot, unfortunately. Had a rot hole in it. I'm hoping at this point this one looks better. If not, ends up in the burn pile, unfortunately. Which is, I think, what happened to most of that other one. No, we did stack that. We stacked it, and it wasn't too bad. It was the weeping cherry that was really bad. And this is a red oak here. It's going to get quarter sawn. It's a nice clear butt log, about 30-inch diameter, roughly. So slabbing is what we've got to do most of out here right now. So that's why you're getting slabbing video after slabbing video. Till I get down to that red oak for quarter sawn. Then we'll do a quarter sawn video. There's lots of different ones of quarter sawing out there. I'll probably repeat that one. I'll use somebody else's method on that. I don't have any special method for quarter sawing, but I'll just share what I've learned and what I try to do. So let's head out back and get this hickory slabbed up for the day. All right, it should be pretty straightforward. I think I've got it set that I should just be able to slab straight down through it. I might have to flip for the last one, last cut or two. I'm going to go 8/4 slabs on this one, and let's get started. And of course, I'll bring you down to see what we're finding inside this log. Yeah, let's go take a look at what we got so far. Okay, this is the second cut in. We had the first one off, this one back here. And that was already showing some decent color, but not much away in crotch figure, a little bit down here. Very typical for hickory. I don't see any signs of metal yet. The staining is just from water getting in the ends, I guess, after it was cut. Sometimes it was cut in the winter and laid out in the snow and everything else since then. So water's gotten infiltrated into some cracks, I'm sure, but a little bit of staining down in here. Nice coloration. It's a nice contrast between the white and the browns, and the white and the, looks almost like a blue staining, blue or gray, but not bad stuff at all. Hickory's fun to saw because it's very, very hard, so it's slow paced as usual when you're slabbing. Slow paced and sharp blade, and this blade I think is a little bit dull. This has been a log and a half. It's still no real waves in it, so it's a pretty nice crotch figure showing up in here. Not bad at all. Like I said, just a contrasting white and brown, pretty typical for hickory. Folks down south may call it pecan. It's in the same family. Up here it's hickory wood, and we have regular shagbark hickories, which you can eat the nut from those. You got bitter nut hickories, you've got, which I wouldn't eat because we got a couple in the yard. They taste horrible. Well, we do have a shagbark in the yard, and those nuts from that tree taste good. Yeah, but this one, I don't know if you saw my videos from my white oak that I was cutting. This is one of the ones that came off of that property. This was a crotch off of that. I have hickory lumber all sawed up back here, 4-quarter hickory lumber. Probably gonna end up being flooring for somebody. I had some requests for it, so I try to make sure I have some on hand. Look really nice. We have some cabinets in the house made of hickory. Beautiful stuff. Tough to work with though, from my experience anyway. My experience and my tools that I have, it's tough to work with. And it's fun to saw because it's hard as a rock. It usually dulls the blades pretty quick. But I only have 1 or 2 cuts to make on this log, and then I will be changing out the blade for the next one. So let's finish it up. Well, let's look at the next one down before we make any more cuts. Hang on one second. Here's our next cut down. The darker colors are starting to take over. The white's starting to fade. I think that's about as much of the dark as you're going to get. Even in the next cut, I don't think it's going to be much wider than that. Odd. Doesn't look like a branch nub. I'm not sure what that is. Bark inclusion around something there, or is it just discoloration? That's a pretty cool little feature. I like it. Almost looks like a little curl along the edge here too. You get up in here, of course, crotch figure starts all the way back here. Goes all the way out. You've got some picking up some bark inclusion here. All the way up. A lot of curl right up through here. Nice stuff. Alright, let's flip the next one over and see what we got. And the next cut, didn't dump any water on this one. It's pretty wet already. It was flooding the blade on this one, but there's some blues and dark grays in here, reds, browns, a lot of curl, and just really crazy grain around this crotch here. Very cool. Crotch feathering. Crotch figure comes all the way down into here. Nice. There's a bit of a hump right here. I don't know if the blade was diving and came back up. It just feels like it came up right here. right as it hit the crotch. So I'm going to lose a little thickness on these with running them over the router planer. But still not going to lose anything as far as the looks of it. It's going to get better looking when you smooth this out. Nice stuff. Let's take the last, it's like 2 cuts roughly, and probably one more and I'll be able to flip it over. Should be narrow enough by that time. And flip it over, and then we'll be able to make the final cut. And go get set up for that. A couple more cuts and we're done with this one. Get another one loaded up, hopefully get it done tonight as well. Let's get a look. I'm sorry. Let's get a look at those last couple of pieces. Hang on. Okay, what I did here was the one that I pushed off the mill just before this one. It's actually 2 1/4 because I had a bad dive in there. I don't know if you heard the motor die down. Every time it dies down like that, if you push it too hard, blade dives. That's pretty typical for a band mill. You want to try to keep the RPMs up, and in this case feed slow. So I made it a little thicker, 2 1/4, so you could clean up that one. It's got a hump in it. The one below it will have the low spot in it. Or no, actually that had the low spot in it, the one below it had the high spot. So add a little thickness to it, they can clean it up, or I can clean it up and have a nice slab, but nice thick slab yet. But this one, this was cut at 2 inch. I just took that little bit off the outside. It was 3 plus, and just trimmed about 1 inch off of it. Brought it down to 2. Rather than leave it 3. The things get, I mean, it's only 4.5 feet, 5 feet long, but it's heavy for stacking. Because these are going to be stacked pretty high back there. I think we're 2 or 3 logs high, depending on what the size is. These will probably only be the second layer, but they get kind of heavy. So that's the one side. Hang on, let me flip this over, and you should be able to see what the other one looks like that I already pushed off. Okay, well, pretty much lost the crotch figure on this one. There's still some unique grain right around in here. Picking these things up, just these little, I mean, they kind of look like bark inclusions, but they're not soft like bark. So something that hickory does. I've seen this in a lot of hickory I've cut. This is a little bark inclusion. There's a branch going around here at one time, but a little bit nice figure around that. All in all, a good log. I liked it. Except I got to change my blade. If it wasn't dull before, it's dull now, because hickory will eat your blades. So, once again, everyone, thank you. As winter sets in, I think the videos are going to get less and less. Yeah, there's the other half of that. Nice. Videos will get less and less. I mill outside. I have no building to mill inside of. Right where you see me at now is pretty much where I'm going to be milling. I've milled in the winter time. I've milled in single-digit temperatures before. Just add some good windshield washer fluid to your water, your lube system, and keep that from freezing. Don't leave it on the mill overnight. I don't care, because if it gets down below 0, even windshield washer fluid freezes. We got so cold here last year, the washer fluid in my truck froze for almost a month. I couldn't get any washer fluid out of it because I don't have a heated garage. So anyway, that's about wrapping it up for this log. You could watch me stack it, but that's real boring. So it's going back here. Probably go on top of that one. That is the maple, the big maple log. With all that ton of figure that was in that one, and the spalting and everything else. That's some nice slabs back there. There's going to be a lot of book match sets in there going together, making some nice tables. So that's where that hickory is going to go on top of that. And we'll start with the next large one setting in front of that, next long one setting in front of that. So hey, that's about it for this log. Let's go ahead and get it stacked and stickered, and get our next one loaded up. Thanks again, everyone, for checking us out. Thank you for the positive comments below. Keep them coming. Really appreciate it. We'll keep trying to put out good content, at least till we get frozen out here. So, but hopefully you like what you're seeing. Again, like, share, subscribe. Hit that little bell symbol next to the subscribe. That'll give you an alert every time I put out a new video. And you can stop by and leave some more comments for us. Really do appreciate it. Thanks, and we'll catch you out here next time.